Hello everybody, and welcome to a bonus video in which I'll be looking back at the year of 2017 and what a year it has been for me. I have released 3 graphic novels, and one of them is actually a series out. It's Nick Curry, and but this year has been amazing for me. But I think today I'm going to go through each month and what I was up to in that month. So let's not waste any time. Without further ado, let's jump into this video. Okay, so in January I was working on this graphic novel, Diamond Dash, and it is a mini graphic novel that I came up with around December and finished around January, and it's one of the comics that I think I would say it was preparation comic book, and I think it prepared me and just helped me jump into the entire world of comics. But this is a story about 2 CIA guys, and it's called It's a series I made up called Super CIA. There's a second book that I made, but I won't talk about that now. Let's move on to February. So in February, I was working on another graphic novel, because after I decided that Diamond Dash wasn't good enough to be one of my comics that I will put out there, I started work on another graphic novel, this time a much longer graphic novel, and I named it The Blue Paragon, and this is some early sketch work that I did. It's about 2 detectives. Once again, I don't know why I always have 2 detectives, but these are some sketches that I did, and my drawing, I think, has gotten considerably better at this stage. But The Blue Paragon failed at the inking stage because I hadn't most of it was because I hadn't worked through the entire process before I got to the inking stage. But I didn't know how hard the inking would be, and so I just decided to ditch this project altogether. So that was another failed project, but soon enough we will get to the graphic novels that I did succeed in. But for now, let's move to March. Okay, so looking back at my diary, I discovered that in March I really didn't do much in comics. I think I must have been taking a break at that time, but I did actually get into a few things, and I was studying to become a comics career. And at that point, I had also purchased 3 comic books, all of the same series. This is the Tintin series. I think I've mentioned it in my videos before, and this is also Tintin, but it's in a smaller format. So that was for March. I basically didn't do anything in March but study. But at that time, it was also a very big learning period for me, because I found the site, as you know, I've mentioned in many times in my videos, and that is comicsforbeginners.com. That is one of the best comic websites out there. I will encourage you very deeply to go check it out. But for that moment, that was March, and I looked through the videos, and he taught me this guy taught me how to go through the entire process, and even how to use reference, how to ink, how to color, it was everything. And that was a big learning process. And from there, I moved on to April and came up with one project that I finally succeeded. Of course, I've mentioned this loads and loads of times, but I finally did a graphic novel that actually succeeded, and that is by the name of Hostage. And this is the original art for Hostage. The artwork inside is still not very great. It was a hand-painted comic, and it eventually became this graphic novel, and the color is actually very faded. I think that was the style that I picked from the very beginning. But this is Hostage, and that was what I worked on from April to July. And I have actually had ideas for this graphic novel ever since last year, in September 2016. But I thought to myself that wasn't a project that I was ready for yet, so I didn't work on it until April. But April came along, and April to July was poof, Hostage. It took up a very long period of this year, but it's one graphic novel that I finally succeeded in, and finally, when it was finished, I was super happy because I have finally finished a graphic novel that I was proud of at the moment. But I think we should move on to August, where I released another graphic novel. Okay, so in August, I released one more graphic novel. I finished one last graphic novel actually, and it's called The Rookie. I actually had a lot. I actually got like 5 reviews for it already. But even though I didn't think the story was that great, but this is one of the pieces from the book it eventually became. Let's see, eventually became this page. And one thing I regret about it is that I used my entire collection of Sharpies for this graphic novel, and I did at the very end. My entire collection of Sharpies had run out of ink, and so that's one of the dangers of doing a black and white comic. I found you should prepare yourself for that tremendous amount of black markers you'll need to use. But then again, you may use pencils for the black and white, but I found that for The Rookie I wanted to use Sharpies, but it took out like my entire collection of Sharpies out, and at the end I was like, whoa, what happened to all my Sharpies? They can't be used. And see, like at the very end I was trying to make these black lines that they already all faded. But that was the second graphic novel out of 2 graphic novels, and I think we shall move on to September, where I created another series that I was truly proud of. Okay, so in September, I created the graphic novel, the graphic novel series, actually, Nick Curry, and it was a project I've been thinking of ever since September. Again, I had many ideas for graphic novels from the very beginning, but this page is actually a flashback from Nick Curry book 2 that is now finished, and it of course it turned out to be this page. But I think one of the things in Nick Curry is that this panel right here is a reference to Nick Curry book 1. There's a there's a page in where there's this almost exact same one that I use reference to. I think that's one of the Easter eggs, you would say, or it would mean that you, it's something that it's a fun fact that you can catch if you find this panel is referencing to book 1. But book 1 and book 2 are both finished, and book 3 is currently in the works, and I think it would take up the months and the weeks, months, and year, and the rest of the year ahead. I'm working on book 3, and it will arrive in December. There's supposed to be 5 books in the series, but you can read book 1 and book 2 for free at my website. I'll put a link in the description box below if you're watching this from YouTube. But many thanks to you who have stopped by the website. I'm really thankful to all of you who do that. But I think it's time to wind up and talk about some final words. So that was one awesome year of 2017. I have had a blast for this entire year, and I think one of the major people I need to thank is the nice people at comicsforbeginners.com who helped me jump into the entire world of doing comics, and what a journey it has been. One whole year of doing comics, and starting from late 2016 actually. But for fun, let's just go back through the months. The months I believe in January it was Diamond Dash. In February it was the Blue Paragon. In March I was taking a break, and I also purchased these 3 comics. In April to July I finished the graphic novel Hostage. August I finished The Rookie, and of course this series is not completed yet, but when I will have to thank everyone all over again, because there have been supporters from the very beginning, and but thank you for all of you who have stopped by my website. Again, as I mentioned before, I will put a link in the description box below. But just to wind it down, I have brought out these 2 copies of Nick Curry, book 1 and book 2. I just want to thank anyone who has stopped by and read this comic series, and tell me what you thought about this video in the comments below, and suggestions for what I can do. I also have my latest video was on Snoopy, and I think I really liked that idea, but that was a how to draw step-by-step Snoopy. And if you have any suggestions, please comment below, and please do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And also, thank you for stopping by my website where I blog daily. And I just want to wind this video down by saying thank you to everyone who has helped me and supported me throughout my entire comics career. Thanks.